Hi and welcome. Today I have a piece for my art journal book that I made, and I start with just some cardstock because I'm going to be covering the whole thing with other papers, so it doesn't have to be anything great. I have some scrapbook paper, some book paper. I'm just collected some neutrals and just gonna apply them to cover the surface. I have this stamp. It's from Rubber Dance, and I'm just gonna stamp on a piece of scrap paper. And I'm using some graphite Archival Ink. I'm just making it so I don't have any straight edges. I thought before I glued that down, I need to cover that little spot right there. So I just grab a scrap of book paper because I want my stamped piece to go over top of that. Just making sure I don't have any loose edges. And now I'm just figuring out what I'm going to use to cover the little bit remaining. That is a pocket card from Tim Holtz, and that's going to be kind of a focal image. So I'm just trying to figure out where that's going to lie as to where I wanted. I really like this list of numbers, and as it turns out, you really don't even see it in the end, which is unfortunate, but that's my own fault. Just trimming my edges. And this is kind of where I messed up. My rule for me is once I get the first layer down, I seal it with collage medium or something like that, just so that what I put on top, like if I'm gonna do a splatter or something and I don't like it, I can wipe it off. And for some reason I just skip that step, and I do pay for it later. So take my word for it. It's easier if you seal the back in case you do something you don't like. Although it's not irreversible, because the great thing about collage is you can just cover it up. So before I add my focal image, that pocket card, I decide I want to do some splatter. And so I start doing the splatter, and I just, in my opinion, overdid it. And had I sealed it, I could have just wiped it off, but because I didn't seal it, it just absorbs right into the paper, and there's no going back. And really, it's not that I overdid the splatter, it's just that when I go to do my edging right here, I end up, if it had dried, if I'd waited for it to dry, it might not have been a problem. But I smear it, and that's what I wasn't crazy about. It's just all that smearing, and so because it's not sealed, it is just absorbed right into the paper, and my only correction available is to cover it up in some form or fashion. It will lighten up because it is pretty dark right there. When it dries, it does lighten up some. So before I go adding my layers on top, I'm going to be fixing it here in a second. I could have cut it out or stopped videoing at this point, but I kind of thought it might be important for you to see that, you know, when you don't like something, you don't have to toss it. You can layer on top of it and fix it that way. So where I have what I think is a messy job on my book paper, I'm just slapping on a new piece of book paper, which I thought helped a great deal. And then I add some music sheet paper underneath the stamping portion. So I think doing those couple additions helped considerably. I'm going to add my pocket card. This is the medium size pocket card. There's one that's smaller and there's one that's larger. And you get all three sizes in one pack. I hope these never go away because I love them. I have like 3 sets that aren't even open yet. So I use this vintage washi tape quite a bit, and I just love it there. And I'm adding some stickers from my vintage sticker packet that I got off of Etsy. Had a couple of those, as well as sticker. Well, it's not a sticker, it's a label from one of the ephemera packs from Tim Holtz. That's the label from Tim Holtz. I'm going to stamp it here. I don't think you see me do that. Yeah, okay. So, and I just took a stamp from, I think it was from the Field Notes from Stampers Anonymous. And I'm going to add a sentiment from the Small Talk. It says, live simply, give generously. Even though they're stickers, I glue these on because I just want to make sure they don't lift up because it's such a thick background of different levels. And then I think the only other thing I do is add a little butterfly at the top. I'm just going the areas that I hadn't hit, when I added the new papers, hit them a little bit on the edge with the vintage photo. And then I add my little butterfly. I believe that's also from Field Notes, but they come in several of the packets, so that may be wrong, and I'm just going to glue that on, and I think that is it. I will have some final pictures coming up at the end. And if you have not subscribed, please do. It's free. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. But either way, I appreciate you watching, and final pictures are coming up, but you guys have a great day.